One of our viewers recently asked me what to do about parental alienation syndrome. I've got some experience with that, having been a child custody evaluator for the courts. Listen up. For about 13 years of my career, I was a child custody evaluator appointed by the court to go into a divorcing family and figure out how to help these people share their kids. Normally, when I got involved, things had gotten pretty messy. These are families who weren't able to work it out on their own. They didn't come up with any kind of a mediated plan for how to share their kids. They were fighting. And the conflicts would get really nasty sometimes. You can't shock me. Having been through that experience, I've seen all kinds of high conflict, nasty things that happen in families. Parental alienation is one of these things. Now, this is a term that was originally coined by Dr. Richard Gardner years ago, and it's become part of the vocabulary of custody evaluators and judges and attorneys who work in family law. You've probably come across it as well. Basically, what it means is an active campaign that's undertaken by one or both of the parents to alienate them from the other children, to put a wedge in, to poison the waters, so to speak, so that the relationship is damaged between the children and the other parent. There's a lot of reasons why this happens. Psychologically, in a custody case, here's what I've observed. When a divorce happens, the common thinking is, that person, that nasty, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad person that I am divorcing, and there are good reasons why too. I can't have that person in my life anymore. I can't live with that person. I don't want to be around that person, and so on and so on. Now, I'm exaggerating this, or am I? No, in some cases, that was underplayed. But this is the mentality. And with that mentality, think about how important your kids are to you, right? And this child that I am so responsible for and that I love more than anything on earth, can I allow this child that I love so much to go be with that person that is so terrible that I can't be with them? This is the mentality that causes parental alienation. I can't allow my child to experience that terrible, horrible, no good, very bad person. I wouldn't be a good parent if I allowed my child to be exposed to that. And so that's how parental alienation starts. And sometimes it's even a strategic move to obtain or gain child custody. And that's just foul play, if you ask me. That's not fair. It's not a good way to fight in those cases, but it happens all the time. I've spent this time defining it, describing it, telling you where it comes from. I promise to tell you what to do about it. Knock it off. Don't do it. Don't go there. I know from a professional standpoint that this damages children. And I've seen far too many kids hurt by this. Don't do it. Don't go there. I know you'll be tempted to. Okay, you've got that, right? Because you're approaching this with integrity and character, and you've got your children's best interest at heart. But what about that other parent? The one that's doing all of the alienation. Let's spend the balance of this video talking about what to do if alienation is happening in the other home. What can you do about that? Before I share those tips with you, here's a disclaimer. I am not your attorney. I am not providing to you legal counsel. I guess that's a disclaimer for the video, but also I'm acknowledging you might need it. You might need some legal counsel. I personally believe that the courts are a terrible place to solve family problems. Awful, horrendous. It's set up as an adversarial system, and that's not how families work best. I think it violates all kinds of principles. Having said that, it's the only place we have to resolve child custody issues if you can't come to an agreement with the other parent. So if that's where you are, you're probably going to need some professional assistance. I believe that legal counsel is kind of like dentistry. You don't want to do it yourself. You have a right to, but I haven't seen that work out very well for most people. Get competent legal counsel if you need it, and please be selective, because some attorneys are just in it for the fight. And fighting is not the best strategy for happy families. Now I'm talking as a psychologist, okay, not your attorney. What can you do if the alienation dynamic is happening in the other home? Refuse to take the bait. And you probably know what I mean, because they're going to be lobbing bait your direction to see if you'll bite on the bait. Sometimes this comes home with the kids. Hey, Dad said that you, whatever, okay? And it just makes your blood boil. Or, well, Mom said that you have... Okay, if you're getting triggered like that, that's the bait. Don't bite on the bait. Defensiveness validates accusation. Write that down somewhere. Defensiveness validates accusation. And it works contrary to what it is you're trying to accomplish. Don't take the bait. Do not return fire. Don't fight against the people who are inviting you to fight. You with me? I like what's called a strategic non-response. And if it's clearly bait being lobbed over your direction, instead of biting on it, you're going to give a strategic non-response. Your own anxieties are going to be tempting you to violate what I just shared with you. The strategic non-response feels like you're giving in, feels like you're giving up, feels like you might even be acknowledging what they're saying is true. I think it's just the opposite. I think what you're really saying is, hey, that doesn't really even justify a response from me. That is so far out in left field, I'm not even going to address that. Do you see how a strategic non-response might be your best strategy? Here's where it gets tough. When your kids are asking questions, or when your kids bring it up, because sometimes they get to be the messengers of these nasty messages. When your kids are challenging you about something that is clearly bait that's being lobbed over from the other side, I think one of the best things that you can do is take yourself out of the role of trying to explain everything to your kids. Your job is to love them, no matter what and even if. It's not to help them see the truth. It's not to help them understand the flaws in the arguments that they're hearing in the other home. These aren't even the kids' issues for the most part. These are things that the parents need to work out. So taking that position as you're interacting with your kids and not taking the bait, I think it's okay to listen with empathy and say, wow, well, what do you think about that? See, that's drawing it back out of them. Well, Dad, I don't think that you're a bad guy. Mom, I don't think that you're that evil. See, they're going to have their own perceptions, and they're just feeling the waters. If you become defensive, it validates the accusation in their mind. Well, I can't believe that they said that over there. Do you see how that's going to look to your kids? You're just taking the bait and you're joining in the fight. You're returning fire. Don't do it. What do you think about that, honey? What's been your experience with me? Okay? And let it stand on its own 2 feet. That brings me to my last point. One of the best things you can do about parental alienation syndrome doesn't even have anything to do with parental alienation syndrome. Here's the counsel that I've given hundreds of families in this situation. I'm going to give it to you as well. You create the most stable, sane, loving, warm, open, communicative environment that you possibly can in your own home. Don't get distracted by everything that's going on in that other place that you wish would change, or that's driving you nuts, or that you feel baited into responding all of the time. Let that be what it is. Bring your focus back home. This is the place where you have more control. Right here in your home, establish that sane, loving, stable environment for your children. When they reach a level of emotional maturity, and sometimes this comes years later, okay, but they will see through it. And I've seen so many examples of parental alienation syndrome backfiring on the person who is using it as a strategy. It backfires on them at some point because kids love both of their parents. You want to create an environment where they are free to do so, and they have full permission from you to love both of their parents. This is not easy to do. I'm asking you to do a very hard thing here because you'll be pulled and baited into the fight. Don't accept the invitation. Hold your ground. Create that stable, sane, loving environment at home. Remember, your job is to love your kids no matter what and even if. Don't try to explain all of this to them. It's not their issue anyway. But bring it home to where you can have the biggest impact. That's where we can really make a difference. This and a lot of other really challenging topics are what we're here to help you with. Come to Live on Purpose Central. There's a link in the description. Click on that and come and see some of the resources that are available to you to handle the challenges that come up as we do the most important job in the world, raising our kids. We've got your back. I'll see you there.
Her head was down, face locked onto the phone.